Star Wars Battlefront 3 was canceled 2 yards from the finish line, the dev says. This comes from GameSpot. A developer who worked on Star Wars Battlefront 3 has claimed the game was 2 yards from the finish line before it was canceled many years ago. Developer Michael Barclay, who now works at Naughty Dog, made these comments in response to a Twitter thread where developers discussed the projects they worked on that amounted to the one that got away. James, what did he say?
Well, to be clear, let's put all our cards on the table, okay? Barclay is not talking about a dice Battlefront 3. He's talking about a Battlefront game in development at Free Radical Design in the mid 2000s, not the newer series. That's an important point because EA is said to have rejected DICE's pitch for a third Star Wars Battlefront game. They don't want it. It is kind of sad, but also like what direction would they go? What would they do? Barclay said the cancellation of Free Radical's Battlefront 3 was an absolute crime, Barclay added. Gamers don't know what they were robbed of. Barclay's LinkedIn page said they worked on Battlefront 3 from 2007 to 2009 at Free Radical, contributing to the game's single-player and multiplayer elements. Quote, I feel like it's been long enough now to come out and say Battlefront 3 was going to be legit incredible. And if the fact that it got got canceled 2 yards from the finish line is an absolute crime. Gamers don't know what they're robbed of. Michael Barclay at Motley Grew, April 16th, 2023.
So,
despite numerous and detail, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to go read the next point, but
please.
It's interesting here that I feel like this is just a random thing to say, just blurt out on social media, and it's getting a lot of attention. There's some more details about this that Star Wars Battlefront 3 from Free Radical was supposed to dive into like Legends content and so basically it would have the same eras of Star Wars because Battlefront 1 only had Clone Wars era. Battlefront 2 had the regular era and the Clone Wars era. Not Clone Wars era, but
is that true?
Prequel era. What? Is what true?
Star Wars Battlefront 1 only had Clone Wars era?
I'm pretty sure.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing about the second one is they had both eras. Not Clone Wars era, but prequel era. I could be wrong. I'd have to Google this.
I think you're wrong.
And so anyways, the third game was supposed to expand on that further and have both eras because at this point the sequel era did not exist. And but go into Legends content where like they have concept art of an evil Obi-Wan Kenobi and like who's like all bearded and gross and like Anakin if he was still good like later on in life, like all of this like random.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. Okay. What did they expand to in Battlefront 2 before Battlefront 1 or after?
Jedi. They added the playable Jedi as a big thing in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Okay. Yeah, because
we're talking about the originals, right?
Totally.
Not the newer ones.
Yeah, not the DICE ones. I mean, that's true because the first one.
Because the DICE ones didn't have Clone Wars at all in the first one.
No. Well, yeah. Wait.
It was only for the new film and original.
New film? No. No, they had both eras. Battlefront 2 launched before Force Awakens, and so when they released it, they then released a Force Awakens like maps with Kylo and Rey and BB, all that kind of thing. Wow, I could be way off on that, actually.
No, yeah, they released that stuff, and I think they had like New Order.
Yeah, and a
New Order stuff, right? And Star Wars Battlefront 2015. But they didn't have any of the Clone Wars stuff in Battlefront 2015.
Okay.
They did not have Clone Wars stuff in 2015. But that's what was the big thing with the next Clone Wars game is that they added that in. And then Battlefront 2004 did have Clone Wars and it had OG trilogy, but you couldn't play as Jedi. And then in the second one, the big thing was that you could play as Jedi now.
Well, I remember playing in Cloud City. Like, it was Cloud City with the clones. Not Stormtroopers. Yeah.
In Battlefront 2004, yes, you could do that.
That was like my number one played thing. It was that.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of this article says, despite numerous and detailed attestments to its existence and development, LucasArts never confirmed Battlefront 3 was in fact in production. Free Radical Design co-founder Steve Ellis said in 2012 that Battlefront 3 was 99% complete at the time of its cancellation. However, a former LucasArts developer disputed this, saying, A generous estimate would be 75% of a mediocre game. Oof. EA's new Battlefront
Thanks.
reboot series sold more than 30 million copies, but the publisher did not move forward with the third game. I wonder why. EA is staying with business with Star Wars, though, with its newest game, Jedi Survivor, launching next week. Blah, blah, blah. There's an obvious thing here. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the obvious thing?
The obvious thing is that Battlefront 3 EA never got greenlit because of the gigantic issues with Battlefront 2 at launch. It doesn't matter if Battlefront 2 is at such a good area right now. I just re-downloaded this week to hop in because of this story, and it's so much fun, and it feels great to play, and there's tons of variety. It's awesome. But that doesn't matter because there's no one playing it. Maybe like a quarter of a percent of the player base would still check in on that right now. And it has such a bad, tainted name that there's no shot they would make a Battlefront 3. Of course it got denied.
No.
Crazy.
I think there is a world in which you could have a redemption story with the third one and really right the wrongs with the second one, but I don't think EA is a company that's going to take that chance.
No, they're not going to take that chance.
EA is a safe company. They take safe chances. They take safe investments. Like Jedi Survivor is a good investment because the first one did so well.
Yeah. I do
had
hope
great reception.
I do hope that we get another Battlefront game eventually. I just don't think it's soon. I think we're way out from that.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not in development, I don't think.
I imagine if Battlefront 3 released, it would be a live service game.
That's a problem. I don't think Battlefront exists in the current state of what a popular shooter game is. Like,
no.
Even jumping in.
That's sad.
Huh?
I think it's sad.
Oh, it's definitely sad.
You can't have that sort of game because live service games are so predominant.
It's here's what I'm gonna kind of like compare it to. Like Battlefront 2 right now still has the loot box thing where like if you get to the next level you get a box and that might have a skin in it. And you can buy loot boxes still, but it's less predatory now and there's less like all of that has gone away. But I kind of wish that like Overwatch still had that in a sense where you get a loot box and you might get a cool skin out of it sort of thing. Because now like Overwatch, I'm not going to get a single skin because I don't want to pay for the battle passes, you know? Like I'm not going to play it 50
I think the
hours.
loot boxes was a way better situation than the battle pass situation.
Yeah, I think they work in different scenarios pretty well. Like the battle pass works good.
And hold on, let me be more specific. I think the loot box works best when it's purely cosmetics. I think because the Battlefront's issue was that you had loot boxes that went toward upgrades and that went toward it was a star cards and it was like the materials for like getting upgrades or what was it for you like consumable stuff like currency. Currency was in there too. That was an issue. Well, sometimes currency was in loot boxes in Overwatch too. But when when everything in the game is just going toward cosmetics, it's a great time.
Well, I would hope that the currency that's in there is currency to then buy cosmetics, not to buy power. Yeah.
Yes, like in Overwatch.
Which they split.
Yes.
So like in Battlefront now, you can still get that currency like in a box or whatever, but you now just earn skill points to upgrade all your star cards instead of using currency, which is way better system. They should have been in the middle. They wouldn't have been in this hot water.
No.
I love Battlefront. I loved it as a kid. Played it on PS2 all the time. And I liked the new iteration. It had a lot of good stuff going. I think the graphics are still like
it's so gorgeous.
Good.
Oh my God.
And it's tight. It's just a tight game. And it sucks that we're not going to get a third. It's a bummer. Or of either.
Huge bummer.
As a kid, I would have loved a Battlefront 3 as a, now I would have loved a DICE Battlefield 3.
I'm surprised there aren't any shooters coming into this space and wanting to revive like the loot boxes that like Overwatch had. I'm surprised there's no games in this space that are like, yeah, fuck the battle pass. We're going back to like this purely cosmetic microtransaction system.
I think that it would just be hard to get greenlit now. Like the pitch would be like, here's all the proof that it used to be popular.
This isn't gonna be this is not gonna be as profitable as this other very successful model.
But we have battle pass like stagnation now. Like everything has a battle pass. There's no shot. Like when Fortnite came out and it was the first battle pass,
it's oversaturated.
Everybody's buying it. You can't buy the Apex battle pass, the Call of Duty battle pass, the Fortnite battle pass.
No way.
Like this, that.
Spend $100 if you're playing like
no way.
10 games. You're paying $100 in battle passes,
and you're not finishing them. That's for sure.
No, not a single one.
Bring back Battlefront with the loot box. I can't believe I just said
Yeah.
that in 2023. In context of what we just talked about, though. Guys, thank you so much for watching this Battlefront 3 cancellation video. We appreciate y'all. If you want to listen to this entire podcast, you can go to all podcast platforms and type in Strictly Casual Checkpoint. And it's a little blue box that says Checkpoint right there. This is episode 158. Or you can watch the entire video podcast on youtube.com/strictlycasual and become a member to watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.